All right, I think we're good. What's up, everybody? And can you confirm that you're streaming on your channel too now?
I am checking as we speak.
If not, I will.
I am live.
You are live. That is dope. Okay, so now
I'm
we've
not
got
dead. The
the.
cat is not dead. Don't make me say that
I love it.
again.
Oh well, what's up, folks? We're here, just having fun, working hard, hardly working. Um, this it's a day of learning for us. What are we learning today, Sarah?
uh, how to make sure to get to do repo gardening or maintenance and not
Repo
start a
guard.
new project.
Oh, not start a new project. That's I don't know what that means. How do you not start a new project?
I am very, very proud of us. After the last stream, we actually just took one of the ideas and in what, about an hour did it
Yeah.
roughly. Blog post coming soon.
I mean there's like this whole area of like should we just build a thing? I think we should just build a thing. Oh, we already built the thing. Oh, no one can hear the music. That's on me. I'm sorry.
It. Um,
There it goes. All right. Now can people hear music? Okay. Wait, now I can't hear you. What's
oh
happening? Oh,
no.
now I can hear you. Okay, cool. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We should show off that whole. So last stream we were talking about the Hacktoberfest wrap up stuff, and then we went into this idea of like making cards for the stuff that we do, and totally wound up like I don't know, just building things just as a proof of concept, and in the end I think we had something good. I gotta figure out what I'm doing here. I gotta push all the buttons. Hey, come on, button. I got a stream deck and it's fun and it's fun to play with, but also I think it only works like a third of the time, so I need to figure out what's up with that. So ignore all of this stuff. There's so much stuff happening right now. What am I looking for here? JMSK, there we go. So we were talking about this idea of can we even like build badges that run off of like run off of Azure functions, which apparently custom badge inaccessible. That maybe I broke something, which is kind of worrisome. But I know it works because I took that same idea and lost my browser and then found my browser again and applied it to one of my other repos that said, yeah. So now we have like, yo, you can tell when the next recording is going to happen. And also because the way the show works, we do like a topic based issues thing where if people have ideas, they can just add an issue for news. We have to have all that stuff in the day before, so it's like the next recording in 3 days, topics due date in 2 days, and you could easily modify this. In fact, the way that one's working is I need to figure out what keyboards do and also how to spell the word Python. Yeah, but then we'd have these Azure functions here, and all they're doing is like this really simple layout of like, oh, get days until, and then if you actually look at days until, where is that at? That's like here. It's just doing like date time manipulation and stuff, and then I have like custom color code. So if it's greater than 5 days, it's green. If greater than or equal to 2, then it's yellow, and then on like the day of, it's like red. So yeah, honestly it's just like being able to just build things quickly and then like throw them in like an Azure function. Then I'm all about it. I like it.
Yeah, I am interested in trying to apply this to, like, on your GitHub profile, you can have an about me or read me that shows up on your profile. I've seen lots of people make really cute kind of JavaScript, basically embeds that you can put there so that it can display like stats about your GitHub activity and stuff like that. But it'd be like, projects you should hold me accountable to because I haven't looked at them in 3 years.
Oh man, so you're talking about doing the cleanup on like streams of stuff, and I don't know if you've heard this, but Git it's not a great tool.
Okay, we did have the soapbox last time,
but
it's what we got.
It's what we got. The whole thing that I'm looking at is how do I make it so that I can spin up projects and then like put them in a resting state of like, this is done for now, versus like, and then some stuff I'm just like, I'm done with this, and then it's immediately like archive it, make it read only, all that stuff. But like, how do I set up my code so that I can clearly be like, I'm done messing with this for right now, but it's in a healthy space. And I feel like what we were talking about earlier with like conference stuff is one of the easiest things for that, because like, I have an ADHD talk that I give, I try to give it like once a year, and I don't necessarily need to do stuff with it all the time. And it's something that I don't need like top of mind. And I'm not fancy like you and have like a cool log seek, like, set up and all that stuff. So for me, it's just everything's in the GitHub repo, and I'm like, I'm not going to touch this for another year. But meanwhile, like, it's just sitting there and no one's doing anything with it.
Yeah, I mean, I have definitely bounced back and forth between a bunch of tools. I feel like I'm getting increasingly unmaintainable with logseek just because I was using a lot of plugins and templates, and now I have to maintain the tool to maintain my brain, and I feel
You're giving your brain another job.
But it's organizing. I love organizing.
So that, I mean...
But then I don't get anything on the lists done, but they're very pretty.
I mean, like, I know that we're in the knowledge workspace, and that's where everyone talks about like, personal knowledge management. I don't like, I understand the need for a well manicured digital garden or whatever, whatever people like to say. Like, I get it, but I feel like there is a lot of like, you're doing the same amount of work, it's just a different kind of work, and it's not helpful if the goal is like, I'm busy and I need to feel like I'm more in control of the things. Like, you're not going to solve the problem by just doing that. Like, you're going to have to actually go and like reduce the amount of things that you're doing, and kind of be, I guess, a little bit more, I don't want to say responsible, but like be a little bit more judicious about, what you allow in and out of your workflow. But the other side of that is, if you're saying that like, I can manage the stuff, I'm just unorganized, okay, that maybe that works. But I mean, you talk about like the whole idea of like, now your job is managing logseek plugins. Yeah, no, I don't want to do that. But I'm also like in the space of like understanding that I do need to come up with some way to manage my knowledge personally. But right now my notebook is like good, and I'm loving it. Like, just notebooks, all the paper, like all the notebooks. This is my personal knowledge management, is like 2 notebooks and a desk pad, and then
Also, my attempts in artistic directions.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
Most of them have fallen off now, but I was trying to figure out how to draw the Python logo.
You say you could develop the. Yo, not miss the start of the combo. Okay, cool. Hey, how's it going? I was like, wait, you missed. The conversation has basically been us doing what we promised we would do, which is ramble.
No. I can show what I am doing right now, which actually I do have a question for folks. But let's see if I can do the fancy OBS thing and remember what buttons I labeled.
Oh, see, now I gotta go do the thing where I find you and just click on you. There you
go. Okay. And let me bigify it here. So next week I will be speaking at GitHub Universe. Technically I've already spoken and it's recorded and we're ready to go. But I am trying to go through the talk is about doing quantum full stack development in code spaces. Code spaces is super cool. If you haven't seen it, it's basically a feature on GitHub where you can just basically launch a VM in the browser for free. Asterisk, if you are on a corporate account, and stay tuned to GitHub Universe for more options.
Ooh.
But the demo I did is connecting a bunch of projects here in the QIR Alliance organization, because they're basically tools for doing quantum development at a bunch of different layers, like user space all the way down to like the LLVM, almost machine level code sort of things. But some of the repos, I can say this as a physicist, are not super open source friendly. They are research code just far enough along effectively that, it is usable by more general audiences. So I'm trying to think of what I need to make sure each of these repos has, and not just type random letters from my thing. So my list of what I've got so far is obviously COC and contributing guidelines, which I do think most of them have. I want to add the all contributors GitHub bot, which is really nice. I'll show it in a sec. A bot that just kind of welcomes people when they file an issue or a PR, and then possibly these badges. Just to kind of, I don't know. I like a pretty README. Most of these are pretty sad, unfortunately. So where is this one? Where's like PyQIR? Yeah. The descriptions are good, but I want to kind of make it more actionable, call to action right at the top. Anything else I'm missing here that would be good? Like the testing and linting and there's tons more actions I can put, but they're going to be like code specific. I'm looking for I'm trying to think of just the like bare minimum anything should have.
Did you go through the community insights?
Now stop being so smart. No, that's true.
Community standards.
Community standards, yeah. So GitHub will display this for all repos. It gives you a nice checklist for stuff. Okay, good. Got most of the stuff done here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we gotta do these are more like back of house things,
yeah.
And then accept content reports. I don't know what that is.
I think that's like is this a organization level thing, or is it like someone's personal repo?
These are all under the org.
Okay, I think it's like an org thing. Which, did you know about .github repos? Like very similar to like the personal repo thing.
I did not until recently, because they have one here.
Yeah.
Which is this is like I've been looking for this for a long time. You told me about this, Jay, and then I was like, oh, that makes sense, because I was like, why did they make this named like this? I would have just said like general or organization.
I get why they did it, because it's like if you go into a repo and you put everything in your .github repo, it works the same way. Or sorry, your .github folder in a personal repo. It does the same thing. So I guess it's kind of the idea of like, all right, well, we have .github folders. What if we had .github repos that basically operated across the entire organization unless overwritten by an individual repos.github page or folder? I can't words. Words are hard.
Okay.
But yeah, but I think the repository admins accept content reports thing is like a organizational level thing where all the other stuff is either like repo based, unless you apply them across the organization, which like even the contributing document and stuff, like some of the tie-ins that GitHub's been doing, like I forget about them a lot, which is like the contributing link. If you go into like issues and you go into like their contributing document, it doesn't take you to like the GitHub standard one. If you have one, it'll take you to the organization or the repo's contributing document, which I think is really cool. The question of org-wide templates can be overwritten locally on a per repo basis. I believe so. It's one of those things where like, I don't know how often you would do that, but I could also see where if you are doing it, it makes sense, you know.
I'm trying to see if there's an example here, because I think what's in the local repos.github is orthogonal to...
Yeah. I don't know if issue templates work across...
Oh, hang on. Yeah, because they have a CLA one. Let's see if that shows up here. Oh, that's issue template, Sarah.
I was really confused for a second. I was like, wait, you can do like folders of issue templates? Because that, I mean, that would be an interesting feature, but also it sounds like a lot.
Yeah, I'm guessing it just is like a union, but if they conflict, I don't know what happens, but
yeah. By the way, that community
the
standards thing is a thing I'm working on, like as a VS Code extension, with a couple of people. So not like I do the like add code of conduct thing. We're working on like GitHub community standards across the board, and it would be a bundle of extensions that do all like the one extension says, hey, you don't have these things, and then here are the extensions that will help you add these things, which is really cool. And thank you for the shameless plug. VS Code, add code of conduct. I wrote that.
Very, very straightforward.
Yeah, appreciate it. It does one thing and one thing well. It'll add a code of conduct. But yeah, and hoping to use that as the model to do the other stuff. But I mean, everything that you got there is good. I mean, I'm not too familiar with anything with the word quantum in it. Not even quantum leap. That's before my time. But
they're remaking it. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about it. I also don't know the previous one. All I know is it's one of my biggest pet peeves is that a quantum leap is not a big thing. Quantum is small. So I don't... Words mean things, but...
I mean, I think
creative liberty.
Some small things are good, though. I mean, they remade Rocky Horror, didn't they? And that was interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll leave it up to debate. I did want to show the all contributors bot just because I have seen this on a lot of bigger projects. I've started adding it to projects, but basically it's a really cool way, like when you have contributors to your projects and you want to like recognize them. Obviously we can post on social media, include things in your release notes. But basically what you do is it adds a bot, and then whenever like there's an issue or a PR, I think those are the two main places you can use it. But basically you reply to the bot, you say, hey, can you please add this person for a particular type of contribution? So like they have all kinds of, like, you can say code or maintenance or art or whatever. And then it basically generates a PR that adds, let's see. Let me just go to an example here. This is a repo I set it up on.
I remember you showing this, and in my head I was like, I just realized if I mute myself, it also mutes the music. Gonna need to fix that.
That makes sense.
I like the idea. I think it goes back to that conversation that we had of, what do you do when now this is another thing to manage and another thing to manicure?
True. But I think, I don't know, since you're already reviewing the PR, like, I can just add as a part of closing the PR, hey, can you add this person? I don't, like, it makes the PR to manage this table and stuff. So I don't have to, like, think about it. I agree. It's a little bit of maintenance, but I guess from my maintainer perspective, the benefits outweigh the cost.
Yeah.
Because what I've seen then is, like, especially students or people who are kind of new to open source, they can, like, take a screenshot of that or send people links to the project. They're like, look, I did this.
Yeah.
Obviously you could do that by going to the contributors and blah, blah, blah. But, like, this looks cool, right?
I mean, so I'm going to be the lazy person that says, or you could just have a contributors.json file and be like, add your name to the contributors.json file.
Which I think this actually also effectively does. It's not called contributors.json.
All contributors, something.
Source, yeah. So it grabs, you can manage it that way too if you want, but the bot sets that up and adds all the things.
So my guess is that this is kind of I'm a little concerned about the different levels of contribution. It's a docs contribution. It's an examples contribution. Like, I love that, that kind of information is there, but at the same time, I'm also like, I feel like that's a good way to, I don't want to say like gatekeep people, but to like restrict or I guess devalue their contribution. And I mean, to me, I'm like, all contributions are contributions. If you update my grammar, I'm very appreciative of that. But at the same time, I know that not everybody feels the same way. And that's why, like, I agreed, the contributors little tab over there is probably not the best way to do it. I think having a contributors.md or, contributors, JSON or whatever is cool. I feel like, again, it's one of those things where, like, I feel like it's just such an easy thing to do where I could just update my JSON file when someone submits a PR and, like, or use like GitHub Actions to do that. And then, I mean, I use my own static site generator to update my own personal GitHub profile, but I could just, when someone submits a PR, hey, update this file, do this thing, and then now they're added to the list. But again, like, either way, it's another thing that you got to manage. So I'm not necessarily hating on it too much. I just feel like it's really interesting that there's like this whole platform of stuff that does this, that you're now reliant on, but also if things like stop working or if things change or if they put it behind a paywall, whatever wants to happen to it, you're like, oh, well, what do I do now?
Yeah, no, that absolutely makes sense. Other maintainers wanted to add the type of contribution emoji. I kind of feel like I would maybe drop that in general.
Yeah.
Because I definitely agree it kind of sets up for tiers of contribution, which if you're thinking about it, I think the way that I am, and as you said, like all contributions are contributions, but some people don't feel like that. So maybe what I'll do, here is I'll set this up, but not have the emoji thing.
Yeah.
But
so you're saying all of these are different like Azure function based badges that you want to do, like a Discord chat badge. I mean, the Discord badge already exists.
Yeah, what I'm doing is I'm going and grabbing like the same Discord that Mintic is on.
They have their own badges already, and you're trying to see like what badges they have and if they could be.
So shields.io actually already has a Discord like presence one. So I'm going through and getting whatever ones I can from shields.io, and then maybe it'll be good to think about if there's something interesting we could add. We could do days until the next community call, because they do those every other week.
I like it.
Actually.
I think that there's a way to probably make that slightly smarter. I did try my hand at like a little, like once it's under 24 hours, start doing like hour countdowns. But again, there's a few issues. One, I don't know how many people visit your GitHub repo, but functions can get expensive the more that they're used. And then also there is the whole like, and there also is like caching. So like shields.io will cache the result, but I also wonder if like how long, like if it's an hour until, maybe you have it cache every 30 minutes or something like that. But then like it could overlap, so maybe you do like 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever. Like again, if your like Azure build goes buck wild because you got a lot of people heading over to your GitHub repo, I mean, throw a sponsors button on that site like immediately. Which you should probably throw a sponsor button on your site, period. Like if you're doing great work and you want people to, cover you on it, like do that. Oh, this is so okay. What is so PyQIR is just so you're just like creating links so that they can click it and go. They can just click on it and go to the actual document.
Yes. Yeah. So I mean, like, obviously, is that necessary? No. But what I like, I mean, other than that kind of first description at the top of the page, I like to give people like options for things they might be looking for when they get there. Like, how do I talk to people about this project? License, just even showing people that we care enough that we have codes of conduct licensing.
I mean, I was thinking about it from that community standard section too, of like, hey, do a simple pathlib thing, which if you want to let me share my screen, I can.
Oh yeah, please go for it.
I can do that. I gotta figure out now. I've got to actually like stop my screen, but then also like share like all of the screen, because I have no idea.
I'll just keep dancing here in the meantime.
There you go. There you go. All right. Oh, there's the infinite wall. There we go. That's the wrong one. Let's do a new one here. So yeah, like if I were to do just any simple old program, it's gonna be like let's do a thing here where my mouse is like losing itself. Let's do like a little pathlib test thing. Yep, open that up. Great. I'm gonna make things a little bit larger. I think I have a profile that does that. Nope. It did it the other way. It made it worse. Okay. Note to self, fix that because it's backwards. But yeah, and now Docker is like, hey, I need to update all of a sudden. So yeah, if I have this like, I don't know, check files.py thing, and could do there we go. Probably should have wrapped those in quotes. Cool. We'll just have that, and then just do like, yep, for file and files, boom. Like something like that, but instead of print file exists, do like what? I don't remember what all the messages are, but I don't know, like message something like that, and then yeah, something like that, and then just have it run. Oh, would help if I did syntax things right. Yeah, so like you can do like code of conduct doesn't exist, da 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 doesn't exist, da 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 doesn't exist, and then from there you just do yeah, and so then run it again. The emojis did not work because I'm too lazy. But you could actually just return, instead of returning like this exists, this doesn't exist, you could do, well, I mean, I guess we could have just did that, right? Like green check. Oh, thank you. when Copilot's like, oh, your emoji game is weak. Let me help you with that. But yeah, like doing something like that even, like, because you could just turn all those into individual badges, right?
Yeah, just have like one function that returns the badges for that you need to embed.
Yeah, or I mean, you could even do like, maybe there's like like exist, no exist type of thing. Like exist, no exist. Well, and like if it's there, you know, you can do like exist 4, no exist 1, or you know, something like that. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of different ways that you could think about how you would segment that, but I feel like the community standards is already a good resource that every repo has access to. So if you know what those files are and you know where they are or where they're located or where they should be located, and I mean, I guess you could do like, I just did like path file is file, but you could do, you know, a little smarter situation there of like, just import pathlib and then do like, what is it? pathlib.rglob, and then, you know, you could do that whole thing. So at that point you're like, oh, I could do that and then like have it look for the file.
I'm trying to figure out how to say it. Pizzazzes says we could go as far as, does the README contain A, B, and C? Pizza. McPizza. That's what I thought, and then I was like, is this like a internet spelling of pizza?
Put some pizzazz on it. Some McPizzazz on it. Oh, nice. McPizza is. Okay.
Ah.
I get it.
Clever.
But yeah, like that whole idea to me makes sense of, because I mean, and that's kind of the logic that we wanted to have in that extension, is just crawl the path and look for these files. And I mean, that's the way that I did it was probably not the most performant way, because I think you'd want to do like, maybe you get all of the file indexes at the root level and at the .github level, and then you just check for the files in those two places, because those are the only two places where they could exist. I just wonder, like, is there a way that you don't have to send 5 Azure function requests and that you can send 1? Which seems a little bit cheaper.
I mean, I really... As you were talking about earlier, kind of the idea of expanding the idea of having a code of conduct extension in VS Code, kind of expanding that to include ways to kind of help include templates or whatever for all best practice stuff, run checks, have a panel that says, kind of like the community pulse or whatever it is on GitHub. But you could have like a % score for like community health or something like that. And then that would be one badge, and you could click on it and it would take you to
the community standards.
It could take you there, or maybe the fancier kind of like static web apps thing is it would take you to a page for that repo.
Better community standard. Oh, that's...
You could, so it's kind of like, it would be a page where you could just, if you went there directly, you could type in like the repo
name and get the community standards for it.
Yes.
I feel like that's
where the badge would take you.
I feel like that's a pull request to open source waiting to happen.
Ah, yeah.
That's like an open source feature of like, oh, hey, when I go to a repo, just give me their community score, like directly on the project. Which now I need to check if that's even there already. It might actually already be a thing. How do I? What?
Yeah, I can't spell sauce apparently. Please help. No, it's not a font. I don't want a font. There we go. Right, it's .pizza, right? Oh no, where did Jay go? I don't know. It's the Sarah show now. Just kidding. Jay, I need you. I can't change what's on the display. I will put in chat here. Oh, I've been missing chat on my channel. I'm sorry, folks. It does not go into StreamYard, even though it has the key for me. Pi Quantum Horizons. That would be great. Also, hi, Guillaume. Well, I think Jay has teleported. He's gone to the quantum realm. That's what we're going to go with. There's a new Ant-Man movie coming out. If you've seen the trailer, let me know. I could only partly get through it. Like, I was okay with the first couple.
I don't
You're
know
back, okay. I was like, am I gonna have to fill for 20 minutes?
I genuinely don't know what happened. I was like just talking, and then like
Oh, no.
all of a sudden, I like look over, and it's on like the select session screen in StreamYard. I'm just like, huh. I wonder how long that's been like that.
Yeah, no, I think you're only a few minutes out. But
I think I accidentally like I think I hit like command left arrow or something on the wrong tab. That's not embarrassing at all.
Also, I learned something, which is chats on my channel where we're restreaming does not show up in StreamYard.
Really? So
yeah, so I felt real bad, but I got a bunch of folks hanging out over there.
Oh, nice. I am sorry, all of the people hanging out in Sarah's chat. I
will remember that and have that up separately.
Yeah, StreamYard doesn't really let us merge chats like that, and I know Twitch actually just announced this like insert guest or invite guest thing. But I think you have to use like their version of OBS, which isn't really like, I'm in a Mac ecosystem and it's not really friendly for that, so sorry.
Yeah, and I like my OBS. Like,
exactly.
Forever and always. Do not make me change.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know how much of that you got on my side. I don't know when things broke. But yeah, I feel like that's something.
And we were talking about this should be, maybe there's already a community health thing there.
Yeah.
So I put a link.
There isn't.
Okay, cool.
There isn't.
That was we're waiting on the report.
Yeah, but I think that would be a feature. Like that definitely sounds like a feature. And I mean, honestly, what I was gonna say is GitHub should just do that. Like, don't bury your community standard score like behind 2 menu clicks. Just have a badge on the repo, have a badge up at the top or in that little section that has all of the community standard stuff already, the license, the code of conduct and things. Just have like 4 or 5, or have a, the sliding color bar or whatever. Like, I don't think we need to. I'm not saying that they're trying to hide it, but I'm like, I feel like at the end of the day, it should just be like, put it there.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you can't, like, we found out that you can query it from the GitHub API.
You can.
But you can only, you can query individual things that happen to be in the score, but not
really?
like, well, you can ask for the code of conduct from a particular repo, not just the list of all that are supported. You can ask for the templates. You can ask for license. Like, you could go through and basically do a manual check on all those things. That's not easy, and I totally agree. It should just be a thing that happens.
Silly, yeah. All right, hold on.
But honestly, that wouldn't be hard to do as a function.
I've got the thing here. Like, I see like contributors URL. I see. How do you check for? Hold on, let me just find code. How do you check for like code of conduct? I see license. I see. Is there a readme?
Maybe I'm imagining things. I could have swore you could.
I'm just in the REST API, which I mean, I'm not. There's like the whole like deprecating the GraphQL API, and then saying like, but not like backporting a lot of those things. That makes me a little concerned in general of just like, okay, if you have...
Oh, get a repository, get a code of conduct. Hang on.
Is your chat being smart right now? Because I can't see them.
They're always smart, Jay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I found a page about the Code of Conduct's API. You can use it to retrieve information about a repository's code of conduct. To get the code of conduct for a repository, use the Git repository endpoint. All right, I'm here.
Yeah, I did that.
But yeah,
GitHub
it looks like it's not
API.
there, eh?
I see like GitHub API codes of conduct, and it gives you like some the two options that it offers as a template. I mean, I'm just like you said, if it's one of those things that I can just like type into and then all of a sudden it works, then cool. But also, I don't.
Here, we're gonna search smarter here.
Are you sharing your screen? No.
Oh, I can actually.
No, yeah, it might help.
Okay.
That way, because I think we're both
you don't like
for it.
my audio descriptions of. Okay, there we go.
By the way, my banner is covering up your address bar. I can remove the banner.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. So I keep looking at the wrong window, which is my Twitch that's on a delay.
By the way, people came for conference chat, so we'll give them like that in the last 5 minutes. We're working on other stuff right now. It's important.
Okay, so here's the Git repository.
Yeah.
So that's what. So what I'm gonna do. There's an example response here because they are beefy. I have pulled hundreds of repos like this, and then it gets real sad.
Well, that's what I did. I called the API for one of my projects and did a search for like code of conduct, and it's not in there. Like the license is in there, but that's it. The README isn't even in there, unless there's another endpoint like README. Okay, I think I figured it out. If you go to that API, so you have to go to the repos API, and then it's like that endpoint / README, and then it gives you the README. And then you have to go to, I don't know what it would be, is it underscore code of conduct? No, I don't see code of conduct at all. Maybe it's just conduct?
It has to be here somewhere, right?
GitHub. Can we chat? I love you, GitHub. I do. We need to talk.
Avatar. But what did they? Yeah, what are they calling it here? That's not. I think I'm just cycling through the same ones. Okay, yeah, that's here. We're gonna go back to the Googs. GitHub.
REST API codes of conduct. Let's retrieve information about a repository's code of conduct. Codes of conduct. It is the repo.
You can have multiple codes.
Codes of conduct. What? Did I not type it in right? No, that's what? Get a repository endpoint.
Like API here is critical. It's lying to us. It says you can do it. I mean, you could get the file URL, and if it's a standard,
there's an endpoint somewhere. Because even like about the code of conduct API, like you can use codes of conduct API to retrieve information about a repository's code of conduct. To get a code of conduct for a repository, use the get a repository endpoint. Okay, so when I do that, it's like, where is codes of conduct there? Because I don't see it.
milestones, releases. This is the game. I'm gonna send out a link to this live share, and who can find it first, I'll send a sticker.
Yeah, it's not in the actual like search portion. It's somewhere else, which is confusing. And my guess, and this is a guess, is that it is in the GraphQL like endpoint somewhere, which again was deprecated. So what are we doing?
Well, yeah, all the API doc things here. There's a banner at the top. If you can't find what you're looking for. I don't know. This is going to be homework. This is the homework for next time.
And the thing is, I know that it's just a URL. Like, once you know what the URL is, you're good. But what is that URL? In this article, codes of conduct. Okay. Where? No. You can get like Codespace's API stuff in there too. That's kind of cool.
I know, right? So they use they use like codes of conduct with underscores. Get a code of conduct. Oh, that's a specific one. Right. Well, moving on.
Wait, what? What does this do? Owner repo community profile returns all the community profile metrics for a repository. What? Return metrics include an overall health score, the repository description, and presence of the document. Hold on.
Hang on. Is the thing we were looking for actually just exist?
Sharing my screen again.
I think I found it here on the APIs, but yeah.
Community. Okay, yeah. If you found it, you're okay. One or the other. Maybe this time I won't destroy my system. Oh, you're doing your thing now.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sorry, I'm stupid and I'm looking at the
health percentage.
Delayed Twitch.
Like,
yeah.
So it's all there.
It's all there. Great. Yeah, so
why was that so hard?
And it has the file, and it has the links to all of them. Okay. So this needs to be made. I mean, I guess is there utility in doing this as a function, or is this something that should just make a PR to shields.io to have?
I feel like it depends. It depends, because you're gonna run into a couple of issues really quickly. If you don't provide an API key, then you're gonna get rate limited pretty hard, because I think without an API key it's like 60 requests.
True.
But I don't know how they're
how do these work then? Because I
have no idea. But if it's a thing that they already have endpoints for, maybe you just do a request to access that endpoint. The only thing I worry about, how does shields.io access a portion of the JSON?
Well, it's open source, so let's take a look.
let's take a peek.
Let's see. I'm gonna guess core sounds.
I would have just went into GitHub and see if they're actually calling if they're calling the same request and then returning a specific value of it, or if they're
what we're gonna do is API. Search for that. Where are our calls here?
Not API github.com, API github.test.
Entry point.
Yep. Okay, so they're calling it looks like they're calling the individual endpoints.
Mm-hmm. But like they must have a way around the rate limiting because like these are so incredibly common from here. I don't know how I wonder if they like just scrape and cache locally. Well, but it updates very quickly, so I don't know.
I mean, I know that there is caching on the site. I just don't know, like maybe they're just very heavy on the caching of like we cache this like once a day or we cache it once every like 12 hours or something like that.
But it updates faster than that.
Because if you have an API key, I mean, the API key is a little bit more generous. It's like 40,000 entries. But I don't know if you have to provide your own key.
PGP. So they have a PGP key connected. I feel like this is we could just file an issue and ask. Or see if they're just...
How you do this?
Why come you no tattoo?
I mean, you could just... Yeah, I think that if they are supporting GitHub like that already, just having something that's just like, maybe you don't worry about the API stuff and they just got it figured out. You just throw it in there and make it work.
Mm-hmm. Well,
maybe they called someone at GitHub.
They have a lovely tutorial on how to make your own.
Yeah.
So I feel like we or I can go through this, and because I really want that badge to exist.
The community standards badge.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's like a couple of questions in mind with that of like, what is it? Does it just give the percentage? Because that was the thing that they had, was the API call just gives you a percentage score. It's like out of 100, right?
Yes.
So you would just pass that in, and maybe you do like some color matching based on like what the percentage is. If it's less than 25%, basically. It's red. If it's 50, it's orange. 75 is like yellow, and 100% is green.
Yeah, like I imagine something like there's an uptime percentage here.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, and I guess they have some. You could also do like X passed failed sort of thing, but
I just wonder how that. So this is interesting because this is making me want to like tap into like OctaKit on the extension and just use like the OctaKit API. And I know that there have been other projects that do that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But that would save us so much time.
Yeah, no, OctaKit is good. The problem is it's not updated for the most recent GitHub API version changes. So, hang on. I have the one that is the best available because I've spent a lot of time researching this.
Is it a JavaScript extension?
No, it's a Python package.
It would need to be a JavaScript one because of TypeScript.
Oh, then OctaKit is fine. Sorry. There was, I think, a Python package one.
Okay.
I think I did it in here. Yes. But for Python, just for point of reference...
GHAPI?
Yes, and it works and is always up to date because it basically looks at the REST API, crawls it, and automatically generates.
Oh, that's cool.
And I think it's by Fast API. Fast AI?
Yeah, Fast AI.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But it's very nice and reasonably Pythonic, so.
Reasonably. We've got 20 seconds left. Tell people about your conference.
Yes,
Talk.
check it out. GitHub Universe. You can go to the repo for my demo. It's just aka.ms/quantum. You can spell it dash code spaces. And I'll be showing folks how you can actually develop quantum technologies all the ways from user space down to machine level and submitting through the cloud, all from your browser, so I can do it from my iPad on the beach.
Nice.
But the conference is free. I don't know why that just took me to Bing. I swear it works.
Is it code spaces?
Yeah, probably.
We added a...
Hang on.
There's no S at the end. Nope. Is it all one word? Ah, short links. Why are you so hard?
I know I had it.
Well, Sarah's looking for that. I'm also speaking at PyJamas at the end of the month. It's like the weekend after Thanksgiving for folks in the US. Last month I did a campaign for ADHD Awareness Month that was... While you're doing that, I'm going to share my screen that way.
Yeah.
We'll do that. Oh, yeah, the infinite loop. So last month, hopefully I didn't just... You can still hear me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm totally paranoid about it now because it happened the one time. No. I did 31 days of neurodivergence. And really? Oh, I did divergences. Yeah, no, get rid of that. There we go. So yeah, I did each of these. All right, I was like, what? Why is Next.js in there? But these were all automated messages that I basically stored in a queue and then had them roll out. And I recently went and did a... Now I gotta remember the name of the URL. I actually just made this site that does like the same thing. And you click on it and it just loads a different message each time. Chasing this little thing is like a game in itself. But this is just Flask and HTMX, which is a really fun thing. And it's using the same like I literally copy and pasted the code that generates the tweets, except for I just hard embedded the image in the background. It's just CSS. So it's just loading the text instead because I was too lazy to do I didn't need to do image processing on the page and reload it every time. I was like, oh no, just throw the text on there and you're good. And hopefully I'll have some blog posts out about that whole process in the next few days. But
I updated my name to the URL. It was what I thought it was. Edge was just being dumb about... It was calling it a search and not... It didn't autofill in the HTTPS part. That should have done it, but... User error on
this
browser.
Was our day of learning. We day of learned our the GitHub API and definitely can use that.
We're gonna make a cool badge out of it.
Yeah, the GH API thing is interesting. But yeah, if I can is OctaKit, that's maintained by GitHub, right?
That's right. GitHub maintains a C#, a JavaScript, and one other
not the
official
Python
language, but not the Python one.
Maybe Rust.
Nah, it's an old-timey language. Maybe like
PHP. Maybe.
I don't know.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up there. Go check out Sarah's talk at Universe. Universe is next week, right?
Yes, Wednesday and Thursday. So I think technically the recording airs on Thursday.
I think it's
but virtual registration is free. So I'll be there in person. So if you're in the Bay Area, come say hi.
Yeah. And like I said, PyJamas is the week of Thanksgiving. It's that weekend. It's online. PyJamas.live. I guess I could have done that. Funny enough, I wish I would have remembered. I actually had it right there as a banner.
I know. I also had it ready to go. It is just because I can't type in my browser, folks.
Yeah.
Not my memory this time.
PyJamas.live, aka.ms quantum code space. Nope, that says cod spaces. That's.
I spelled it right in my name.
Yeah, no, I totally misspelled that. All right. Yeah, go follow us on Twitter, all those things, do all the fun stuff. It's been great hanging out with everybody. I thought I was going to do another live stream today, and I'm tired. So maybe we'll see. I'm going to be adding some of this knowledge onto our VS Code extension planning stuff, and if I eat and get some more energy, then maybe I'll stream again. But if not, then probably not streaming next week, right, Sarah? Since you'll be doing stuff, you'll be busy.
I'll be chatting with folks, so probably not next.
Maybe
week.
in a couple weeks. Well, is a couple weeks Thanksgiving? Is that when Thanksgiving is? I'm
Probably.
really bad with. No, it's not. Thanksgiving is the weekend.
Check out our Twitter to find out. When
Yeah, follow us on Twitter and find out. We're making this too hard.
And
Also-
yes, there's something very fishy there. Like pizza is.
Yeah,
Cod
and
spaces.
also remember all the stuff we do. It's for work, so yeah.
Yeah.
Don't tell
See
our
everybody.
bosses. Bye.